I first met Sister Aquinas in, I think it was 1947, when I just came back from the service, as a matter of fact. My children were in school at St. Stephen's, and she was a teacher there.
I came to know Ralph through his wonderful wife. Whenever we had school conferences, parent-teacher conferences, it was Mrs. Hauenstein who came, because I knew that Mr. Hauenstein was busy about matters of the war, where he was needed. And so after he came back, then I became acquainted with him.
Mr. Hauenstein and Mr. Wege have been friends since after the war, actually. They've known each other since the 1940s.
We became very close friends and have been friends for these many years. And I've known him to be an extremely generous individual and a man who's done not only great things for Aquinas, but he's also done great things for his community.
Peter's so proud of the many, many great projects in Grand Rapids, here at Aquinas College, at St. Mary's Hospital, and many other places they've worked on together.
Their contributions have been long documented at Aquinas. And Mrs. Hauenstein was on the library group, lay group here at Aquinas for many years. And that group really worked hard to maintain a library here, because we didn't have a freestanding library like we do today.
It was a very limited space and facilities in its structure. And certainly I think that students coming into Aquinas would look at the library and felt that maybe it wasn't quite sufficient for their studies. As my family became acquainted with it, particularly my wife, as president of the society at the library, the need was so obvious that not only for the students who are already here, but students who want to get a further education, a library was absolutely essential to the growth of this institution.
It really was a thrill for Peter to walk through when it was finished and see the big difference that has made on this campus. He really feels that it's the heart of the campus. Sister Aquinas and Peter Wege have been very good friends for a very long time, and he is one of her biggest fans. He's often said, I can never say no to Sister Aquinas, and I know he's not the only one.
As I recall, one time I was looking at some of her CV, and I find out she's probably been in 40 different forms of activities, awards and activities in the city.
I did serve on Old Kid Bank's board for 10 years. First woman to serve on a bank board. I think I learned more from the other trustees on that board than I would bring. However, it was a great experience, and I got a lot of support. I served on Porter Hill's board for 13 years and 7 on the foundation board. I was one of the first members of the hospice effort here in Grand Rapids. I currently serve on the board of the Salvation Army. Probably a half a dozen others, but you only can do so much. So I'm down to one by choice. And gradually, I felt that you can't do justice if you stay around too long, with the exception I stay around at Aquinas College.
She is just wonderful, and she embodies everything that we think of when we think of Aquinas. Her gentle spirit, and Peter and her have always collaborated on a lot of fresh ideas that have made big changes here on campus. He turns to Sister Aquinas when he has questions and for her advice and her insight on making decisions on how he's going to support the school. If Sister Aquinas is involved, he knows it's a good project.
Peter's relationship to Aquinas has been long. He's made large gifts to a number of buildings on the campus. New Sports and Fitness Center is a good example. The Science Building, of course, Wege Center, named for him. But there are multiple times that he has supported us and continues to do that. The trees on this campus are maintained by Mr. Wege.
because of his interest in ecology and the health and education of people, he centered a great deal of that attention under Aquinas College. He's been a contributor both financially and in other materials through his studies and through his works of ecology.
I was speaking with Mr. Wege yesterday about his first involvement with Aquinas College, and he shared with me that he was actually with the realtor who helped to purchase this property. So initially Aquinas College was downtown in Grand Rapids, and when they started looking for a new location, this 100+ acres became available. Mr. Wege was involved in the purchase of the property, and he walked every foot of this property before it was bought, because he's always believed, and he said many, many times, I want Aquinas to be the finest small Catholic liberal arts school in the United States. And so he's always had that vision for Aquinas, and it's never changed, it's never wavered.
It never stops. He keeps on giving and giving and giving. And for all of that, we are most grateful.
From a personal point of view, I fall pretty much in the same line as Peter and the sister, both educational and health. And to that end, I really got more involved and started in with Jay Van Andel, who wanted to put up an institute for research. And he asked me to be a founding member of the board. And the board was really limited to, I think, Peter Cook and myself. And then we had for our director at the time, Dr. Tomatis. It obviously has evolved now into one of the great research institutes, not only in Grand Rapids, but worldwide. We are now really known worldwide in that institute for its wonderful research on cancer.
I think that the people in Grand Rapids are generous, and I think Mr. Hauenstein and Peter have contributed much to the environment and the good part of Grand Rapids, because they are leaders in the city, and that is encouraging to other people, because you see great men, great women putting forth their efforts and caring about where they live to make it a good environment for everybody. So I think their contributions in many different ways, they exemplify the best in citizenship in Grand Rapids.
Peter believes that Aquinas is a very important part of our community. It's important to the people who are not only going to school here and working here, but to the community who walks this campus, the community who surrounds this campus. Those are the people who he wants to see continue to care for and embrace and love the school the way he does. One of Peter's slogans is, do all the good you can for as many people as you can, for as long as you can, because it's the right thing to do. And I think he would want everyone at Aquinas to embrace that same view of life and continue to grow the school, grow the community, and grow the students who come through these doors to be sustainable and good leaders, and take Aquinas' spirit with them wherever they may go.